The most prominent leaders of the truth movement, Stephen Jones, Judy Wood, and Morgan Reynolds, brought hope by bringing legal challenges to the official story. Stephen Jones filed a request for corrections to the NIST report. Although molten metal was the foundation of his theory, strangely, the complaint did not mention it. I asked Stephen Jones why not.
Well, that request for correction was composed by a very bright young lawyer, James Gurley, and I thought he did quite a good job. There were some things I would have liked to see added to that. Yeah, I talked to James. He just felt like, this was enough. Let's start here. It's just a matter of what to emphasize.
Later, Jones published a paper entitled 14 Points of Agreement with the Official Government Reports. Agreement? No molten metal? Rather than a challenge, it seemed Jones was now leading his followers right back toward the official story.
Penned an academic paper.
Represented by attorney Jerry Leapart, Judy Wood brought a lawsuit of her own.
But the FOIA, I've got to remind myself, that's some work that we actually might want to film. Because, I'm a little leery about filming actual steps in your litigation, but the FOIA would lend itself to filming because it's not confidential like trial strategy. Mm-hmm. And what I think we may do is actually put in directly contact.
Clearing standing deal.
So
also represented by Leapart, Morgan Reynolds brought a suit alleging no plane crashes at the World Trade Center.
This qui tam lawsuit is under the False Claims Act and could be described as a whistleblower type cause here. I've filed a complaint in the Southern District of New York in the federal courts claiming that the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, which issued a report in September-October of 2005, purporting to model and explain the aircraft impacts in both towers, which supposedly was the cause of the fires, and the fires somehow led to the initiation of a collapse. I am saying that NIST issued that report is fraudulent, and the principal reason is that NIST contractors defrauded NIST by preparing bogus analysis and evidence and animations.
Airline pilot and aeronautics expert John Lear filed a declaration explaining why the speed of United Airlines Flight 175 was impossible.
I filed an affidavit on January 28, 2008, this year, in support of the complaint and in opposition to the motion to dismiss. A lot of my information was taken from Aerodynamics for Naval Aviators, and I explained why an airplane cannot fly 500 miles at 1,000 feet. It has to do with drag, and it has to do with power, and it has to do with the fact that they use turbofans. It just cannot happen.
At high altitudes, like 35,000 feet, where the engines are designed to fly at most of the time, the air is very thin. The fan and turbine sections are designed to efficiently accept enormous amounts of this thin air and produce an enormous amount of thrust. But at low altitudes, such as 1,000 feet, the air is over 3 times as dense. Attempting to go faster than the maximum operating speed of 414 miles per hour, the air is going to start jamming up in the engine. Because of the much denser air, the fan blades will start cavitating or choking, causing the engines to start spitting air back out the front. In other words, before ever getting close to the 540 miles per hour speed shown in the 9/11 airplane videos, the engine would start acting as a brake. Yes, there's good stuff in Reynolds' lawsuit, and yet there's something missing. This guy went on national TV and said,
and I encourage everybody to do a frame-by-frame penetration of the South Tower, and what you will see is a fake, a cartoon display.
Yet he somehow forgot to mention the TV networks and those cartoon videos in his lawsuit. Judy Wood's case featured an affidavit by John Hutchison alleging the World Trade Center was destroyed by a scaled-up version of the Hutchison effect. For over 20 years, John Hutchison has been making odd little videos claiming to have discovered a mysterious free energy phenomenon. I began to notice patterns with the way these cases were being handled. Either something crucial was left out, or else something ridiculous was included. And just who is attorney Jerry Leaphart?
I actually engaged in legal work protecting oil company interests in third world countries. And to take the euphemism away, I was an oil lawyer.
There never was a trial. By mid-2008, the actions by Wood and Reynolds had been dismissed. Leaphart and his clients were accusing government contractors and ultimately the government itself. Could we really have expected a fair proceeding in a government court?
These brave men are risking their careers.
Were these even serious attempts at justice, or was it theater?
It isn't.
What do you mean by fate? Do you want me to tell you that we know who's going to win and lose?
If you're overly concerned about whether you win or lose, you're in the wrong business.